When does the above apply? Number 33. This refers to the first clause when mentioned the license to respond to a question outside the teacher's presence, right? When so first, last time we said you're not allowed to respond in a teacher's presence. So now we say we do. So I say under what circumstances? With regard to the matter that came up incidentally. Commentary. Since this is casual occurrence, and his teacher is not present, a student's response is not considered to be disrespectful. So somebody came up to you and is asking you a question. Okay, on a street. So the person is expecting to the answer. He's not interested. If you say, yeah, my rabbi, he's now busy, but he's going to be available from 7 to 8. Maybe you call him. That's not what person needs. He needs an answer, right? And it was on the spur of the moment, so it's not like this person, as we said last time, Halachah, that he established himself a court and he's sitting down and judging people. It's not. It's on a one-time basis. Okay. Continue. However, establishing oneself as a Halachic authority who sit and reply to all who ask concerning Halachic matters is forbidden. That's what is forbidden. So commentary. But this clearly implies that the student consider his authority as equivalent, or at least similar to that of his teacher. So we have to always know who Rabbi is and who we are. Doing so without permission is considered to be an affront to the teacher's honor. So, but on another hand, if your rabbi permits you to teach others, to judge, there is no problem whatsoever, right? But you cannot do it without his approval. And plus, I just want to add this another point. So people would think that you actually making judges like based on his teachings, which many times not. He never permitted you. So it's also like a dangerous road. Even if the student is at one end of the world and a teacher at the other, until, so meaning not allowed to judge or to render decisions. So it says the geographic distance is not a factor. So it doesn't matter how far you are from each other until either A, the teacher dies. Not a good idea, right? At which point the honor due to him takes a different dimension. So of course you're obligated to respect your teacher after his death, but it's a different story. It's a different respect. At least you if while the teacher is alive, you can direct this person who asks you a question to your teacher. Maybe he's going to go, maybe not, maybe he's on another end of the world, maybe he can send him a letter and stuff like that, but after he died, that's it. So you're the only resource. B, the student received permission from the teacher. Okay, I think that's the easier one, to get permission from the teacher. Commentary. Since the teacher has given permission for the students to answer questions, doing so is not considered to be affront to the teacher's honor. Although the student was not granted permission by the teachers to render halachic decision during the latter's lifetime, he may assume the authority after his death. Okay, so it's very interesting. So, but if teacher permitted you to answer the question, so there is no problem. And so like I would say, like if you learn in classes, if you learn from books, and your family, let's say, is not on that level yet, right? Or your guests or your Shabbos table, or whatever, your co-workers, or whoever you're talking to, right? So you can teach them. You can teach them. Of course, you can ask your teacher if let's say if I'm on a level to teach this part, or whatever part is, like simple part, right? So for you it's simple, but other people don't even know these things. Like somebody asked me a question. I mean, and this person said that this lady said that she was looking for truth for 9 years, and she asked me a question. I was like, whoa, what exactly did you learn 9 years? What truth you're looking for? I'm not sure. Okay, so people, so the point is, many people are simply ignorant. So if you know the truth, you learn from the books, you learn from Rabbi Reuven Shlita, you learn from our classes, so you can teach others. There is no problem. Okay. But of course, make sure that you get the books that we use, right? And you can teach from the books. You can read and explain whatever you remember. It is very, very nice. Not everyone whose teacher dies is permitted to sit and render judgment concerning Torah law, right? Only the one who is student is worthy of rendering the judgment. So just because somebody said that I was a student of this teacher does not mean that he was a primary student, does not mean that he was worthy student. Like in many yeshivas, there is a policy, they're not going to kick out of yeshiva unless you did something drastic, like unless you spoiling other children or even other adults, right? So, I mean, then let's call them people, other people, because some people go to yeshiva in their 20s, so they're not children any longer, right? So unless he does something like crazy, so they're going to expel him. But otherwise, he can be there for 3 years, 5 years, and he would say, yeah, I was learning in this great rabbi yeshiva, right? But he was hardly like keeping up with I don't know, first 15 minutes of the studies. Commentary. Avodah Zarah 19b requires a student to be 40 years of age before he is considered to be worthy of rendering halachic judgment. Right? So it's Avodah Zarah. So it's very interesting. Until the person is 40, where is this number 40 came from? So it says that a person is mature, he has a life experience. Somebody is maybe more knowledgeable than him, and he's maybe the early 30s, but he does not have a life experience. I mean, of course, there are exceptions. Some people are very brilliant, but usually a little life experience and actually plays a very big role. In summation, on the entire passage, Rabbeinu Nissim writes that the Torah scholar is not entitled to render halachic judgment until he reaches 40, unless there is no sage equivalent of status in the city. So if you can send to somebody else, okay, you should do it. Okay, so unless he is 40, if he is younger than 40. He questions why the Rambam makes no mention of this requirement. Okay, among the resolution, so it's very interesting. So Rambam was so great. Many people spend their life just to try to study Rambam and ask the question on Rambam, and others, so they themselves would propose the answer why exactly Rambam did that, why he wrote whatever he wrote, which is, for me, it's amazing. Okay, so now the question why Rambam skipped that requirement. Okay, it's very interesting, of student being 40 years old. Okay. So here's a possible resolution. A. Rambam interprets the passage from Avodah Zarah to mean that only until he is 40 years old can a worthy student hold himself back from rendering judgment because of his humility. He does not mention this law here, since the unworthy students have become so numerous, and at present no worthy student should be no worthy student should hesitate from the rendering judgments at all. Case of Mishnah. Let me read one more time and we explain it. It's very interesting. So Rambam interprets the passage from Avodah Zarah to mean that only until he is 40 years old can a worthy student hold himself back from rendering judgment because of his humility. So until he's 40, right? So he's maybe not so mature, not so ready to render judgment, let's say, right? So out of his humility. Okay, so it's not like he does not know. he's holding himself back. Why? Because of the honor of his rabbi. Continue. He does not mention this law here, since the unworthy students have become so numerous at the present. So worthy students no worthy student should hesitate to enter judgment at all. Case of finish. So there are so many ignorant people and so many like arrogant people, and people that should not be in a position that the public put them in, right, to render judgment or to tell other people what to do. But unfortunately, that's not the case in many instances in the present. So any worthy student should not hold himself back and not render judgment just because he's not 40 yet. Okay, that's one explanation. Second one, B, the Talmud decision. The Talmud decision refers only to a student who received his instruction from individual teacher. At present, since the students gained their knowledge from the text, which are always available, there is no such restriction. Lechem Mishnah. Okay, so for first one was the case of Mishnah. This is Lechem Mishnah. So it's also very interesting. So when we were discussing this law of respect to Rabbi, due to the Rabbi, so we said there is a little difference, or actually huge difference. Is he your primary rabbi from whom you got the most of your knowledge, or maybe who inspired you to be religious, so you own your life to that person, of course, right? And some other person that you just got some information, maybe one of the subjects that you learned from that person, right? Just 1 second. But as we said before, at present people study from the books as well, and I guess majority of the time they study from the books. So and these books are always available for a reference. So that's why some people buy books, but they're not going to read from the beginning to the end. But they would have it as a reference, and in case of the need, they know where to look, which is also very useful. Okay. So, and third explanation, the Rambam places the entire emphasis on the student's capability, and does not pay attention to the age factor, right? So, I mean, as we said, maybe he's very capable, but at the early age. Right, who said it? Merchavat Hamishne. So in a shul where I pray, there is a young fellow. I think he's 21 years old, and he went from one yeshiva to another. So he goes up. Very brilliant person. Even though he started, I'm not sure when his parents sent him to yeshiva. It's hard to say, I'm not sure, maybe 7 years ago. So he did not start from the first grade, right? For sure not. So he didn't start from the beginning, but he's such a brilliant person. So now he gives lectures in the show by the pray. He gives lecture, and I actually listened a few minutes to his lectures, like few times already, and he's a brilliant person. He's even though he's young, of course he does not have a life experience, but whatever he said, it's absolutely wise and correct. So I mean, well, if he would get a life experience and he would follow Rabbi and who is answering the questions, so he would be able to do the same maybe in 3-4 years, even though he would be in his 20s, 3-4 maybe 5 years. Though this paragraph is included in this halacha, in a published text of the Mishnah Torah, many manuscripts include the following halacha. Okay.